Good morning, everybody. I think it's afternoon actually, but anyway, good day to everybody. Another day and another update. And the rescue work is continuing. I again thank everyone who's supported us, that goes without saying. But we're very pleased that now there are rescue teams in from some other countries, and the UK rescue teams are here with dogs and are actually, I think, being very, very effective. It seems that they've bought very large helicopters. Very large helicopters are now flying over us every day. And the British government has asked, and I think possibly other governments as well, guidance over how people should behave here. Now, obviously, it's very important to keep tourism going. And in the cities, there is no problems. The hotels are working well, and we're delighted to see tourists. But the instructions have gone out that any visitor, and a visitor means anyone here who isn't a resident. So even people who maybe think they live here because they go out every 3 months and come back, they're still not residents. And visitors, classed as visitors, cannot and should not visit any of the rescue areas, even to perform humanitarian work, without specific permission from the government. Now, that affects us here in a strange way, because we were delighted yesterday that my grandson Mark, who'd been back in the UK for a while with his own children, just couldn't take it anymore and jumped a plane because he wanted to come out here and help. And he will be a huge help, there's no doubt about that. But of course, what we have to do now, because he isn't a resident here, is get specific permission from the local gendarmerie that he could go out with the men here in the truck where help is needed. And of course, as far as we're concerned, we always get permission to go out and rescue the animals. And we try and use that positively by taking equipment out at the same time. But I think the British rescue teams are saying particularly that if people are just coming in from all over the place, they could be interfering with genuine life-saving work. So that's the position at the moment. I've continued to have some conversations with organisations, animal welfare organisations abroad. And the one I spoke about yesterday, I've had a long telephone conversation and it was very helpful. I think they didn't realise you needed this permission to come into the UK, even if it was to go and observe. I was emphatic that people should do their due diligence, and if they are going to contribute or donate to any organisation here, they must check that they are registered, that the money's coming in properly and it's accountable. Now, a bit of good news is we get a lot of German visitors here throughout the year, and I had a discussion with a German animal organisation. I think they're based in Berlin, and they wanted to send us a grant, so send us money. They wanted to know if we could provide details of how we would spend that money and receipts for the money spent. And of course, we would mention them and we would tell you all who they are. And that has been extremely helpful. And that will help us, because we will need to continue to build more stables here for animals coming in. And something that people don't always think about is most of the rescued animals, because they're working animals, tend to be males. And if they're going to spend the rest of their lives here, they have to be castrated. Otherwise, they have to be kept in individual stables, and that's just not possible. And donkeys like to live in herds. So we have some very happy herds here. But of course, the males have to be castrated before they go into a herd. So if they're coming on injured now, they're treated until they're well enough, and then they will be gelded, and then they will have a home here and a retirement here. What else can I tell you at the moment? I think something quite important is that those of you that know me and know the area will know that we've had a very close relationship with the Capaldi Hotel, which is a luxury hotel about 10 miles up the road from us. It's run by an English couple. They'll be known to everybody as Ed and Tara, and we've always been quite close, although that might not have been apparent from our individual posts. But up at the Capaldi, they've had a lot of messages from people who've had wonderful holidays there, who want to help and want to donate. And they are very, very keen that they want to assist the local villages and the people who are suffering. There is quite a lot of fallen buildings in this particular area. So what we've done, we've collaborated and we have teamed up, and they have set a GoFundMe page, and it's their GoFundMe page. But instead of taking the money straight into a Capaldi business account or a Capaldi personal account, they are going to send the money to us as a charity and support us. And we, of course, will work with them, and the money that they raise will be ring-fenced for helping the work they are doing in the villages around their area. And of course, that includes saving animals. Because something I haven't said before, and I think this is important, is I'm told that on the ground, dogs and cats run away. The ones that really suffer are the equines that are trapped. And every village in this area has working equines. So to be helping the villages themselves, we're also helping the equines and vice versa. You can't separate one off from the other. And you know that's always been my attitude anyway. So I will put a link up to the Capaldi GoFundMe page, and it'll all be explained in there. It's very important to have collaborative working, and I think collaborative working only works well if it's people on the ground who know the local area, who know the people, who are trusted by the local gendarmerie, and we can really get on with the job pretty quickly. I'm sure to think of something I haven't told you later on. So if that's the case, I'll just put another message up, and now my mind is ticking and I remember. I got a message from a charity that has set themselves up. It's a new charity in Meknes. Meknes is way up near Rabat. It's that part of the country, a long, long drive from here. And they had one of their volunteers, they're just starting, they'd had one of their volunteers in a place called Tanahut, which is our local big town actually. And they had found a mule, and they asked us if we could help with transport. And I assumed it would come here, of course. And they, in the meantime, had found a couple of drivers who could pick this mule up. And they then let me know that the mule was going to be taken to a local farm in Marrakesh, and they're raising money for a vet and ongoing transport to Meknes. I find that surprising, because here we have an established sanctuary with clinic facilities, a permanent vet, permanent staff, and the mule has clearly broken its leg or it's very badly damaged. And that just is such a shame and upsetting. That's why charities, even the new ones, we should be working together. I'm not quite sure what will happen. I think some people have made some comment, but I've actually posted that it's very welcome to come here to Georgia, and we have that the vet's bills will be paid here, and it will have proper facilities, a proper stable, and could live eventually with the other mules in our mule field and have a happy retirement. So I think I really have said anything now. So bye for now.